Hey everyone, this is Mike with Real Dead, and today we got a movie review. And I'm a couple weeks late on checking this movie out. And our family wanted to go see Strange Darlings, but that's already out of the theater. So we had Blink Twice, which I think came out either the same weekend or the weekend before. So we checked it out today, and this is going to be our thought and our review on it. We're going to give you the non-spoiler and then the spoilers on it. All right, so Blink Twice is a movie, and I'm going to read you the synopsis of this as well. But as you can see by the Rotten Tomato score, it's got a 74 from the critics, 69 from the audience. It is a pretty good movie overall. I was really impressed with it. I went with my wife and my 14-year-old son, 13 about to turn 14, and some of the subject matter is a little iffy. It is. A R-rated movie, if I'm not mistaken. It's an hour and 42 minutes long. But let's just look right here about what the synopsis is for it. All right, so it says, when tech billionaire Slater King Channing Tatum meets cocktail waitress Frida Naomi Aki at his fundraising gala, sparks fly, invites her to join him and his friends on a dream vacation on his private island. It's paradise. Wild nights blend into sun-soaked days, and everyone's having a great time. No one wants this trip to end, but as strange things starting to happen, Frida begins to question her reality. There's something wrong with this place. She'll have to uncover the truth if she wants to make it out of this party alive. And I can say that is very true. Some of the other actors and actresses in this is we got Zoe Kravitz is the director. Great job by Zoe Kravitz, in my opinion. Naomi Aki is, as I mentioned, or Aki, I don't know how she pronounces that. Channing Tatum. Christian Slater plays a guy named Vic. Simon Rex and Adria Arjona, who plays a big part in this as well in this movie. So I want to remove this from the screen and just kind of talk about it a little bit. So this does give a warning at the very beginning of the movie that it may trigger some things. So the content of this is, of course, very adult, and it's kind of creepy, to be honest with you. And this movie takes some twists and turns in it. And just let me say, you end up kind of pulling for certain people in this movie by the end of it. Again, great job acting. Acting was top notch. I love the shots that Zoe Kravitz had in this. Some of these shots were unique. Some of the angles of the shots was unique. I will admit this movie to me started out a little slow. I talked to my wife about that as well. She thought the same thing. It takes about 30, 40 minutes for it really to get going. A lot of, this is kind of a spoiler, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. A lot of like drug elements in this movie. So just a heads up on that in advance. If you're afraid, like maybe you have addictions and you can't, watch something like that. But yeah, it's a solid movie. I am glad I went and saw this. This is one of those I was thinking, well, should I just wait till it comes out or not? Stream it, download it, watch it at home. But I am very glad I did. And my wife was as well. And again, by the end of this, you're pulling for certain characters in this. Great movie, in my opinion. One of the better surprises for me this year. I heard Strange Darlings is really good and maybe a little bit better than this. I can't wait to see Strange Darlings now, because Blink Twice and how they use that term in this movie is great. There's a certain part in the movie early on where you meet a character and then all of a sudden you see it pops up Blink Twice real quick. So you kind of know that, once you see the movie, you understand that term and what it means. I'm going to give this a solid 7 out of 10. This is a top 10 movie for me this year, maybe on the verge of top 5, maybe around 6th, 7th mark. At the end of this year, we'll finally give our final ratings on it, and we'll talk about, how it ranks in our top movies for 2024. But definitely go check this movie out if you can see it at the theater. I think it's well worth it, seeing it on the big screen. It does have a lot of blood and stuff in it towards the end of it. So just a heads up on that as well. And I thought it was a solid movie. Zoe Kravitz has to be proud. I know her dad has to be proud, but I was very happy with this movie and how it turned out. All right, now spoilers. All right. So the big thing to this movie is, and like I said, it started out a little bit slow. was the main actress in this movie. And again, her name is Naomi, who plays that character. Her and her friend are waitresses and are at this gala. And as we mentioned earlier in kind of the synopsis, um, she gets seen at this. She trips and fall, and then Channing's, Tatum's character comes, helps her up. He's a billionaire, got a ton of money. He's kind of turned his company over to another chief financial officer, chief operational officer, and he's kind of taken a step back. Says he's spent a lot of time on his island, his Paradise Island. This Paradise Island is a bad island. Let's just say it like it is. So the trigger at the beginning of this is the basis of this movie is they're going here and having a great time, and then they start realizing some things are happening that they don't understand. Naomi, the character here, she has a best friend named Jess. She's on the island as well. And then her friend goes, things are happening that doesn't seem right, and I want to go home, and I need my phone back. They have to give their phones off at the very beginning of it. They don't have to; they can choose to. All of them choose to do it. And the character Naomi, the actress, she was like, hey, just don't ruin this for me, man. I'm having a great time. Well, come to find out, just diving straight into this, is there's these 5 or 6 guys and there's these 5 or 6 girls all coming to the island, and they don't know each other outside here other than Jess and Naomi know each other. You had one lady play like in a Survivor Series type show, and she's there. And then there's, another girl that's kind of a stoner the whole time, and then 2 other girls. So what happens in kind of this movie is when they go into the bedroom, they find this, spray, like, perfume to put on yourself. And then the clothes is left for everybody. And once you find out what's going on, it all comes back to make sense. Channing Tatum says at the beginning, his character, who is playing Slater, says at the beginning, basically a term about it's good to forget, or it's all right to forget, or forgetting sometimes is a release or whatever. I can't remember exactly the term was, and I just saw it. But the point is, he's trying to forget everything like happened from him when he was 10 years old and younger. Something bad happened to him. Well, what happens is him and these guys are drugging these girls and doing bad things to them. I mean, they're raping them, they're beating them. These girls, the perfume that they're wearing takes away their memory. What they notice is the people working there, they're killing these vipers, these yellow vipers in the wilderness, kind of like the jungle around this island. And what you come to find out is that the venom is the anti-venom to the perfume spray, and it allows you to remember things. So long story short, there's some kind of weird, creepy people on this island that work there, and they're trying to say certain things to them. And it gets to the point where her friend Jess gets bit by a snake and starts remembering things. And Channing Tatum's character Slater and some other ones kill her, and she just is never there anymore. And then Naomi and her character, who is Frida, they start saying, "Well, where's she at?" And they're like, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about." So they're all putting this perfume on, which makes them forget everything. I mean, and there is tons of drugs and drinking and partying going on. They're having a great time, and they're forgetting everything. At the end of this, Frida figures out that it's the snake venom, and she meets a lady that's working there, and she sees the lady getting the venom out of the snake's teeth, and she's got looks like a little liquor bottle, a little pint bottle, and she drinks it, and as she drinks it, she starts remembering things. And that snake venom is what makes you remember everything. So then she starts realizing that Slater and the guys there are doing bad things to him, and she starts remembering those bad things. And again, this raping, beating them, some really horrible stuff. The awesome thing about this, though, is the girls, and that's what makes this movie. It's kind of girl power, women's power, is they figure it out. And Frida and the other character, Sarah, start taking the venom to make them remember. And then they start hiding things like a corkscrew and a knife and all this other stuff to prepare to counter these guys later on. And that's what happened. And these girls become badasses. They start kicking the guys' asses, and it's you kind of start pulling for them, like, yeah, get these guys back. There's a lot of twists in this, so I won't go into all of those. But the biggest twist at the very end of this, and I hope you've seen this, because if you haven't, this is totally going to ruin it for you. But at the very end of this, Freda reverses it on Slater, and he starts forgetting stuff that happens. And then when they get back to reality, he's turned the company over to her, and she's the president CEO of this company. And she's keeping him drugged where he can't remember anything. And she's living her best life. That's how it finally ends. And it is great. I love it when the ladies start bonding together and they're drinking this venom. Their nose starts bleeding. That lets you know that they're starting to remember. And they kick these guys' asses at the end of it. That's great. So yeah, that's the big twist on this movie. I thought it was great. Again, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Definitely worth seeing. If you saw some other things that I didn't and you're watching this part of the spoiler, please let me know. So yeah, tell us what you think. Please like, comment, subscribe. That is our review, spoiler free and spoilers, for Blink Twice. And early on in this movie, the Blink Twice was when she got to see this this therapist. It flashes up Blink Twice real quick, and that's kind of how the whole term Blink Twice. Blink twice if something's wrong, or if something's bad, or if somebody's going to hurt somebody. That's where that came from, and that's how it came in the movie. So have a good one.